In today's episode, I am inviting you into the fascinating world of communication and personality styles. By the end of this podcast, you will walk away with practical insights to improve your relationships and communicate more effectively, starting today. Ready to dive in? Let's go! Hi friends! Welcome back to the Book Traveler Club. I'm your host, Vicky. Have you ever clicked instantly with someone, where the conversation just flows effortlessly, but then struggle to connect with others no matter how hard you tried? Why is it that with some people, everything feels so natural and smooth, while with others, it is super tough and stuck? Or maybe you have tried reasoning with your partner, only to have it backfire completely, leaving you both frustrated. Or perhaps at work, you have left a meeting feeling lost and thinking, what have just happened? Did anyone even understand each other in there? And the most frustrating part, have you ever felt like no matter how clearly you express yourself, some people just don't get it? If you do have these questions or these sound relatable, you are at the right place. First of all, let's start with why I chose this book. I work with a lot of different people at work and also in life, and the older I get, the more I realize it's not about the content I say. It's more about the way I say it, and also whether or not the communication is customized to that person. I used to believe there is this universal formula for effective communication, right? If I just explain the why, the how, and what very clearly, then it's good to go, right? Wrong. My work in the business world and change management taught me a tough but very, very valuable lesson. That there is no such thing called one-way communication. If you want to persuade or connect with others, it is not about you. It's about them. It's about how the other person on the receiving end receiving your message. This realization is very interesting and very insightful, and it has led me to explore books on personality types and communication styles. Among them, one stood out as both very practical, insightful, and very interesting, which is the book that I'm going to talk about today. It's called Surrounded by Idiots by Thomas Erikson. The title itself is already appealing enough. Understanding how people function, especially since we will always be dealing with others, is an invaluable skill. Would you want to be able to read and understand people? Let's talk about the book itself. Written by Thomas Erikson, a behavioral expert who is a Swedish. He has trained teams at global giants like IKEA, Google, and Microsoft. The book dives into the 4 types of human behavior and how to effectively communicate with each personality type. Stick around until the end. I will break down the key takeaways and how you can apply them in your life and work. Let's start with the why and why you shall spend another 10 minutes listening to this podcast. Have you ever had a conversation where you spoke clearly and concisely, yet the other person completely missed your point or interpreted your words in a way you never intended? Here's why that happens. Everything you say is processed through the other person's frame of reference, their biases, experience, and preconceived ideas. People interpret the messages based on their core values and the conclusions they have drawn from past experiences. Therefore, when you say something or write something, the other person could be interpreting in a totally different direction. Therefore, if you would like your message to be interpreted as close as you wish to be, or be persuasive, this is where understanding different communication styles is fundamentally crucial. Erikson uses the DICS model to explain 4 distinct personality types. To make it easier for you to remember, they are associated with colors. We have the dominant red, inspiring yellow, stable green, and analytical blue. Now, let me clarify. The goal here or from the book isn't just to put people into these little boxes, but is actually to understand the general tendencies of all these four colors. And I want to highlight that most people are a mix of two or more colors, like red and yellow or blue and green. So in the next upcoming 10 minutes, I will go through each of the color one by explaining how they function and the framework and tricks you can use to tailor each color. Let's go! Have you ever met someone whose energy lights up the room, or maybe someone who's so focused and driven that they never miss a bit? On the flip side, perhaps you have worked with someone who's calm and steady, or someone who is just so meticulous about every single detail. These differences, they're not random, they're rooted in personality. So I will now walk you through the four personality colors: red, yellow, green, and blue. Each has its own strengths, weaknesses, and communication styles. By understanding these colors, you will unlock a framework for adapting your approach to anyone, whether this is your boss, a colleague, or a friend. Let's dive in, starting with the very fiery and decisive reds. Picture someone who's very sharp, laser-focused, and always in a rush to get things done. They will cut straight to the point. No sugarcoating. They make decision faster than you finish your coffee. Or think of a boss who says, this is my way or there's the wrong way. So either my way or the wrong way. And they literally have opinions on everything. Reds are the natural leaders. They thrive on action, progress, and results. They are the decision makers and problem solvers. They're willing to take risk and change forward. But their strengths can also feel a little bit overwhelming. In their own eyes, reds are driven, decisive, and competitive. But to the others, they might come across as aggressive, controlling, or being extremely or overly blunt. If you do have a red boss or colleague, which is very common, a lot of management or C-levels are a dominant red, the key is to respect their time and get straight to the point. So if you are with a red person, you need to be quick and direct. Do not waffle or over-explain. Just deliver the key facts first. You need to show results. Reds love action. If you promise something, follow through and show measurable outcomes. Third, give honest feedback. Skip the sugarcoating. They respect honesty, even this is blunt. So for example, if you need approval on a project, avoid saying, I'm still trying to figure things out. Instead, say, here's the plan and here's the outcome I expect. Reds will appreciate your confidence and decisiveness. While reds are all about action, let's now meet their opposite, the energetic and idea-driven yellows. Imagine someone who is the life of the party, always talking, laughing, and drawing people in. They love brainstorming, connecting with others, and bringing big ideas to the table. Think of that coworker who is always saying, I've got this amazing idea. Yellows thrive on excitement and connection. They are natural storytellers and charmers who light up any room. But while they are fantastic at starting things, their follow-through can sometimes be slipping away, as in when it comes to execution. In their own eyes, yellows are creative, enthusiastic, and outgoing. However, others might see them as distracted, talkative, poor listeners, or overconfident. So if you need to collaborate with a yellow effectively, you focus on their energy and keep them engaged. First, create a positive environment because yellow work best when the mood is light and fun. Second, encourage action. They're great at generating ideas, but often need a little push to execute them. Third, keep things flexible. Yellow receives rigid routines, so give them space to experiment. For example, if you're planning a project with a yellow, start by saying, I love your creativity, but how can we turn this into something actionable? They will respond well to encouragement and structure. As yellow bring energy and excitement, let's transition to the calm, steady, and relationship-focused greens. Picture someone who always remembers your birthday, makes everyone feel comfortable, and never seeks the spotlight. Greens are the one who are calm, warm-hearted, and the glue that holds the group together. They thrive on harmony and will go out of their way, like all the way, just to avoid conflicts. Greens are also fantastic listeners. They're often the ones who is mediating the disputes or ensuring everyone feels included. But their desire to avoid conflict can sometimes make them seem indecisive or overly passive. In their own eyes, greens are reliable, friendly, and loyal. To others, they might seem indecisive, resistant to change, or ambiguous. So in order to bring out the best in a green, you shall focus on creating a stable and harmonious environment. First, greens work the best when they feel safe and supported. So make sure you provide security or some details when it comes to project implementation. Second, be patient with change. If you're introducing something new, give them time to adjust. Third, encourage them to share. Greens often keep their opinions to themselves to avoid conflict. So ask them directly but gently. I personally have the biggest feeling with greens as I work in change management. So when it comes to applying new processes in a company, greens are usually the one who say, okay, no problem in a meeting. They always agree with everything. They do not have any strong opinions. But then when it comes to the actual execution of the new processes, greens are usually the one who really need a little bit more hand-holding and also need like a daily check-in and a private one-on-one call to really make sure they're given space to voice out their concerns. Because usually greens, they do not feel confident or do not feel good to voice out their disagreement in a group setting. So I learned that I really need to give them space on a personal basis so that they can talk about their concerns and understand further what is holding them back to execute new changes. So yeah, greens are the stable one, but it might need more handholding and also a very gentle touch when it comes to working with them. So while greens excel at keeping the peace, let's now meet the perfectionists of the group, the blues. Imagine someone who is meticulous about every single detail. They analyze everything and would not make a decision until every potential risk has been considered. Bill Gates or Albert Einstein, they are a representation of blue. They're logical, they're precise, and they're always prepared. Blues thrive on order and accuracy. They care deeply about doing things the right way and can spot inconsistencies from a mile away. But this focus on perfection can sometimes lead to overthinking or hesitation. In their own eyes, blues are thorough, rational, and detail-oriented. But others might see them as overly critical, too much detail-oriented, nitpicky. So if you want to collaborate with a blue, preparation is key. Having all the facts and data ready and be prepared that you're going to be grilled to every single tiny details of your plan. Because blues, they really appreciate precision, so make sure your communication is clear and well structured. You also need to acknowledge your need for perfection, but sometimes it might be good to just gently remind them that it is okay to move forward without all the answers. So for example, if you're presenting an idea to a blue, don't say, "This is just a rough outline." Instead, come with a clear plan and say, "Here's what I analyzed so far," and they would respect your thoroughness. These 4 colors, red, yellow, green, and blue, show us how unique we all are. Reds drive action and results. Yellows, they spark creativity and connection. Greens create harmony and stability. And blues ensure accuracy and precision. By recognizing these traits in yourself and others, you can then adapt your communication to build stronger connections. So, here's my challenge for you. Which color resonates most with you? And how can you use this framework to connect better with those around you? Over the past 10 minutes, we have explored the 4 personality colors, their styles, their pros and cons, and practical ways to connect with them. If you found this interesting, I strongly recommend you to dive deeper into the book. Because the author, he is very funny, his storytelling is very ironic, and it makes it not only insightful, but also super interesting to read. When I was reading the book, I found myself time to time just laugh out because it's just too funny. You will find those kind of personality types and also the examples extremely relatable to your own life and your workplace. But here's the thing, knowledge alone is not enough. The real transformation here begins when you ask yourself, how can I start applying this understanding in my daily interactions with people? Because knowing someone's personality type isn't about labeling or forcing yourself to change dramatically. It is about building bridges of understanding. People are very complicated. We are complicated. You might not always be able to pinpoint someone's color perfectly, and that is okay. The point here isn't about perfection. It is the intention you have in mind. If your goal is to persuade, to connect, or to collaborate without relying on authority or conflict, ask yourself, how much effort am I willing to invest in adapting my communication style so others can truly hear and understand me? I'm going to tell you, this is hard. It is very challenging for a red to adapt to a blue or slow down for a green. But growth lies in that effort, in becoming more self-aware, more intentional, and more empathetic. It is about meeting people where they are. Here's a question that I would like to leave you with. When we label someone as difficult, or as the book title called, idiots, is it really because of their shortcomings? Or is it because we have failed to understand them? Take what you have learned today and experiment. Start small. Observe how understanding other styles and start to adjust your own. See if conflicts they might get less. And if understanding deepens, the connection grow. Remember, communication isn't just about what you say. It's about what they hear. And by making the effort to adapt, you can transform not only your relationships, but also your entire approach to working and living with others. Communication is an art, a very powerful one. Mastering it is the key to unlock harmony, trust, and success in every corner of your life. That's all for today's podcast. I'll see you in the next one.